Oh my goodness, folks, look at that. I'm live. Well, folks, here we are. LifterLMS, Ask Me Anything call. I have just left another podcast, and so let me go over here and get my notes for this particular thing that we're doing right now. I'm going to open this up. The first thing I need to open up with when we sign into an Ask Me Anything call is I've got a link that I need to share with you. And that link is going to be the 55% off coupon. So if you've managed to get here, managed to find this, let me go ahead and put this into the comments for us. And there's Emily. How are you, Emily?
I'm doing all right. So I'm a minute or two late here. My computer was just dead.
That's all right. That is all right. So we've got the coupon coming up now, and that is get your 55% off coupon here, lifterlms.com/AMA-gift, /AMA-gift, 55% off. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Our StreamYard connection is not connecting to a couple of normal channels. So it looks like we're on YouTube, Twitch and X right now. Facebook looks like we'll be posting a replay to that. So hopefully folks that have gotten the invitation, that have the link, that can sign in through StreamYard and see us will actually get here and have a cool conversation. But Emily, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm just getting up, getting into the day. I've just been doing I'm trying to think of like lifter sites I've been doing. I'm gonna turn on the music too. I think it really just there was a Buddy Boss installation and just LifterLMS and Divi. It's really nothing new for me this week. How about you?
I don't want to say it's new and it's technical, but it's a lot of content. I've literally embedded hundreds of video lessons this week, and I've gotten to play a lot with the cloning tool and duplicating lessons and quizzes and stuff like that. Things working at a scale that, from the support aspect of LifterLMS, I tended to hear a lot about, but didn't really get to experience. Everyone's always looking for this shortcut for, how do I just wave a magic wand to make this happen? And you're like, well, sometimes there's a magic wand, and other times it doesn't make sense to have a magic wand because the magic wand takes more work than just doing the work sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in one of those situations now where I think I'm kind of on that razor's edge of like, okay, I'm going to finish this out manually, but I have to, as I run my agency, as you well know, I track all of my tasks and milestones and stuff on my project management. I track all that time. And so at the end of this project, I plan on kind of doing a forensic, right? And going, okay, how much time did I actually spend, copying, pasting, modifying? If I could have put that into a WP Fusion table and just uploaded stuff, or if I could have just done something else. But I think it's important that people that, especially new to our platform, if they hear that we have the same types of thoughts and struggles with some of the projects we do, maybe it gives them a little more like, oh, I'm not an idiot. Like I'm better off than I thought I was. And I think a lot of people are better off than they think they are. I think that, what do they call that? Something syndrome where you don't think you're good enough for anything.
Oh, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah. I think a lot of that takes over for folks, and they're doing much better than they think they are because they think the website's supposed to be some kind of magical interface portal thing that's, better than any other thing they've ever used in their life. Lately, and I think I shared this last week, I've been looking at some professionals' websites lately, like, because we get involved in our own projects so much, it's like, well, what are other, known talking heads in the YouTube space working on? What do their projects actually look like in completion? And I look at them, I go, okay, I'm in the ballpark. I'm good. Like, I don't know what it is that certain people are looking for, but most of it's already here. Most of it's already ready to go. And from a minimal viable product perspective, everything's there. Everything you need to launch a course is here. So anything you want to add or any design you want to tweak or anything you want to build up, This can certainly happen over time as an improvement for your audience rather than necessary for launch. And so now that my little rant is done, I want to welcome Jane to the show. She's gotten us here. I think she was here before I was here today. It says, hi there. Hope you're both well. We are struggling after your LifterLMS upgrade this week. So that was the 7.0 or 7.7, I think, that we had this week. Why don't you do us kind of a favor, Jane? Let us know what kind of struggle you're having. Maybe there's something that we can talk through, work through, or duplicate on screen for you. From our perspective, we know that there's a lot of changes with WordPress and with our platform, especially having to conform to all that. But it looked like we didn't really have any big issues in testing or anything. So if you've got something major, we kind of need to know about it and we can pass it up line. That would be awesome. And apparently she's a fan of yours.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, Jay.
All right. We got another one from Christopher Stammer. Oh, hi, Team Lifter. 100% uptime here. Oh, that's good. That's good. Things going great with the LifterLMS. Question: if I use custom fields, say for student registration, right, because that's where that goes. LifterLMS custom fields is different than other custom fields. Is there any way to have those custom fields included when I export a report, like students enrolled in a course? That's a great question. We've gone over this a couple of times in the Ask Me Anything calls. I know that Emily can kind of pull up a screen share and show you. And let's be fair to the people that aren't familiar with the product yet. Emily, what is custom fields? Where does it go in the forms? And then where does it end up? Like with the short code thing, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Let me I'll share my screen and I'll dive into that in a second. So yeah, what is LifterLMS custom fields for anyone who's new to LifterLMS? There's a lot of add-ons in our store. One of them is LifterLMS custom fields, and what that one allows you to do is when you go to your registration, I need to reload my WordPress. Okay, when we are in LifterLMS forms, we have a few forms here. Billing information. Oh my gosh, the demo servers. The primary one being billing information. This is the one you'll see when you go to access plan checkouts. You can see we have like billing email, password, first name, last name, and address is one that we can also use with the free core plugin out of the box. But LifterLMS custom fields, the add-on in our store, allows you to expand what data you're collecting. You can ask for checkboxes, radio, text input. So a lot of the example I always go to is if you have not a license number, what is that called? Like a continuing education number. Continuing education license number, something like this. And this allows people to enter this data, and then it will appear on the back end in their accounts. The thing is, somebody does need to fill it out in order for the field to show up on the user account, but this continuing education license number will show up for all users. So as an admin, I could enter that for people, or they could enter it when they check out because I put it right in the billing information form. It also allows you to create custom forms. But the question here is, how are we going to take that data and put it in a LifterLMS export, right? Because by default, it's just going to be stored in the user's profile. Under users, edit users, you'll see this information for each user. And so adding it to the reporting would be this custom code here. This is code on our documentation, adding custom columns and reporting tables to export files. So this one allows you to use user meta keys. And so user meta is like other information about the user that's not just like first name, last name, that you can add your custom fields with other information. And so this custom code allows you to take some of that user meta and put it into the reporting on the back end of LifterLMS, and also to have it exported. So yeah, I would recommend checking out this documentation, and that's my recommendation for getting this stuff into the exports. Is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Who was the guy from South Africa that had the huge website? Can't remember his name.
Jacques.
What's that?
Jacques used
to come to office hours, and he had incorporated like extra columns into the reporting through custom fields, and he had done some pretty interesting things. And so, just because it doesn't come that way out of the box doesn't mean you can't modify it. That's the kind of cool part about, being open source and being able to play with stuff. So we had a couple of comments come in before our episode today. So I've put those into comments, but I want to do export custom fields and reporting. Did we already put this up on screen? I may have missed it.
No, I just put it in chat.
Cool. So here is a document on exporting those custom fields. If you want to kind of jot down that link real quick. Plugins, deactivate the plugins. I'm trying to get to where Jane is at. Let us know if the issues and we'll investigate further. We recently received a reply. Okay. So Jane's got some things here. So everything else in WordPress functions, it says. So let's go back to the top of this. Good morning. We're suddenly not able to access any of the LifterLMS settings through the WordPress backend system, regardless of which system, operating system, browser, etc. we use. All right. And then everything else works, WordPress functions. But if we click either the LifterLMS or the course buttons, we get a loading icon for a few minutes before eventually getting a timeout. Almost sounds like a caching issue. We received a reply. Thanks for reaching out, for providing the screen recording. Regarding the issue, could you please confirm that you've updated? Additionally, you've tried deactivating all other plugins. This could be a plugin conflict that occurred after updating. Let us know. And then she says right here, we can't access the plugins to deactivate the plugins. So yeah, what I've done in the past here, Jane, if you've got some kind of critical error or a plugin conflict or possibly a caching issue, sometimes what you can do is you can purge the cache. If you've got that option at your admin bar, purge the cache and try to get back into your plugins, see if that helps. If not, depending on your host, you might have access to the WordPress plugins for each site directly through the hosting provider, like in your cPanel. So you can go to WordPress plugins and you can actually deactivate them right through the hosting server side pretty simply. If that's an option for you, again, depending on host, then you could go back into the site and you could activate, say, LifterLMS. You could activate WooCommerce. You could activate your CRM tool. You could activate, one at a time to make sure that there's no other conflicts. Sometimes if you have auto update on and you have multiple plugins update at the same time, and I've noticed this since like WordPress 6.2 or 6.4, one of those, when you update multiple things simultaneously, sometimes there's a glitch, and purging the cache and resetting things can sometimes help. Anything you want to add to that, Will?
Let's see. Can access plugins. So I don't know why as an admin you can't access the plugins. If you're seeing, like Kurt said, some kind of error preventing you from accessing the plugins, you can go into your file manager, just rename the plugins folder. I would do this on a staging website though. I don't know if you have like live clients and stuff, but if you do have the ability to create a staging website to troubleshoot this, that might be a good thing to do. A lot of website hosts have that feature for free where it just copies your website. I would recommend deactivating plugins and trying stuff there. But if things are broken live, I'm the kind of person who just tests things live, but staging website, good place for this.
Yeah. And what's cool is Jane does just kind of confirm that she's gone through support. So she has access to support. She's had a response through support. And so our support team will, obviously follow up and make sure that Jane gets back on point. But sometimes it's just nice to have folks to talk to. Sometimes it's just nice when we're here, we can address some things. Yep. Here we go. Can't actually get to the installed plugins to change anything that caused a timeout error. We only have SkyPilot installed and it's been working fine. I created you an admin account. That'd be for support. For people that are watching from outside, that means that support has access to the site now. And we have a full day allocated to the team to develop the site further tomorrow. And we've hit the nail on the head. Auto updates were on. We've only been customers for a week, so maybe we're just unlucky. Auto updates to me, and I run the risk of calling out somebody by name and ticking somebody off, but I'll just say I had Elementor and Elementor Pro installed on multiple websites, and they had a big update like a year and a half ago. And I will never forget those 2 days as an agency. I was foolish. I had auto update on for clients because clients were like, I just want to leave auto update on. And I was like, oh, Dad, do whatever you want to do. You're an admin. And next thing you know, I had like 50 websites I'm kind of offering maintenance for. And like 12 or 14 of them had critical errors all on the same day. And everybody freaked out. So I had to go through and fix everything. And it didn't take forever, but it was a huge lesson to me. It was like, no more auto updates. Even if the client wants auto updates on, I turn the auto updates off, and I typically wait a couple of days before I just do updates. And if they're big updates, like if Elementor will have a big update, they'll say, this is a big update. We recommend backing up all your stuff. That's no lie. So like Emily says, you can make a staging website. You can do your updates, make sure everything's good, and then go back. Depending on the size of your project or the value of your project being up 24/7, right? Because let's just face facts. A lot of us are on startups or MVP projects that don't have a lot of traffic. So if the site went down for 15 minutes because you had to, flush something in the plugins, that's not a huge deal. But if you have an e-commerce driven website that's doing 1,500 transactions a day, having your website go down for 15 minutes or half an hour is a big deal. So it really just depends use case, who you're talking to. But if you've got a sizable website, I recommend staging sites and constant backups. And I would turn off automatic updates and update things when you can actually see the updates happen, and make sure that, your site is visible front and back.
Yeah, totally.
Boom. All right. I feel like I'm being some kind of weird evangelist today, talking about all kinds of like best practices or something. If you have any questions or comments and you're watching this, because I see a lot of people, I see the numbers growing. So for those of you that are new, you can put your questions or comments directly into comments. Also, let us know who you are and where you're from. We always find that like super interesting. And if you're already a LifterLMS user, great. You're allowed to be here. You could be on the Infinity bundle. You're allowed to be here. If you're brand new and you haven't signed up yet or even downloaded the free core plugin, by all means, jump in, let us know who you are, where you're from, and maybe what level of LifterLMS experience that you have. I want to jump into some of our pre-sent questions. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely.
All right. We have a pre-sent question. I'm going to save one of them till the last because it is such a where I got lost in all of Jane's comments. Now I got to find my own comment. There we go. Here's one from Megan. So we have one from Milahi. I'm going to handle last because it's a very generic, general question. Megan's is more pinpointed. So I want to know how to create a coupon which can be used to give a discount off the first month only as a subscription. So let's say you have something you're going to sell. It's $100 a month, and you want to give people a coupon that lets them get the first month for $50 and the rest of the months at the normal $100. Is that something you want to do a screen share for? Or you just want to chat about it?
Yeah, I can do a screen share for that. Let's take a look at the coupon system. The coupon system does have a few limitations, so let's take a look at what those are. There's not a way with the LifterLMS coupon system to do a coupon that I think you can't do only applies to the first payment, right? Because you can do one-time payment access plans, so your coupon would only apply to access plans that are a one-time payment but not the recurring ones, or only recurring plans, or anyone. But either way, if you take a 10% discount, there's not a way to do 10% off the first month but not subsequent months. But with LifterLMS, there's always a way to do something. So let's take a look. If we wanted to offer a discount on the Quick Start course, for example, my recommendation for this setup would be to go into the access plans, so uncheck that box, and then we will, for no payment required, I would do trial pricing probably. So we could do not on sale. Where's trial pricing? Oh, it's not a subscription. We have to do every month, every year. So if we did $30 a month, but then we're offering a trial, I would do enable trial offer, and then I would do $15 for 50% off the first month, right? So this is going to be 50% or $15 for the first month. And the cool thing about this is that you can create a hidden access plan. So this doesn't have to be visible to everyone. This can be kind of a unique promotion. We can turn it into a unique promotion. And here's how we would do it. So we have our access plan created, $30 every month with $15 for the first month. And then we'll take the purchase link, and we can do all kinds of things with this. We could send it out on social media. We can save the access plan. That's definitely a good idea. Okay. So
that's definitely a good idea.
Yeah. Then what I would probably do is have a sales page or something, or like a landing page that says like if we go to a button, and we say take the offer now, or get my discount. And then this link is going to take you to that 50% off purchase that nobody knows about unless you find this page. And then this is the like Facebook ad landing page. And you wouldn't call it Facebook ad landing page. You would call it like whatever you designed this page to be, but it's a landing page. And then you'd have a URL. This page could be like / it shouldn't be Facebook ad landing page. It should be like / August discount. So it's like, if you're going to come get the August discount, go to mywebsite.com / August and get the discount. That would be how I would approach that problem with LifterLMS, where you say 50% off the first month and not recurring. What do you think about that, Kurt?
Well, that's my go-to. I like that. Also, when you take that purchase link, you can use tools like Pretty Links or something like that to create a custom link that redirects to it. So you could call that link, the August discount. So you could say, come to my website, abc.com, August discount, right? And then when they click that redirect, that Pretty Link redirect would take them directly to the purchase page to get that 50% off. And so it acts like an automated coupon that way. Because you had mentioned coupon. So instead of going to a purchase price that says, hey, this is $30, and then put in your coupon code and then it says 15, what's going to happen is that whole process for the user reduces the friction and automates that. So when they sign into that, it's automatically going to come up $15, $30 recurring is going to be the detail on the page. And then they're going to have a form that they will go through and enroll or sign up. And so it's like an automated custom coupon that way. And by making the access plan hidden, you only share it with people you intend to give the discount to, as opposed to putting it up on the front end of your website and letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry click on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can also put it on the front too, because you know what, you're driving sales, but it's all your use case. Whatever your use case is, I want to make sure that we kind of help answer that.
Totally.
All right, we got a boom from Jane. Jane's happy with something. Megan says, I submitted my question. Is Megan from Teachers Together English? Megan, we just talked about you. I hope that's 1218. So yeah, you saw your answer. So you're there. You're definitely there. And friend of the show is here. It is Adam from Run Adam Run. What's so funny is, he's the kitchen sink WP and all these other things, but I seem to always promote him as Run Adam Run. And I don't know why that is. I'm like promoting his running as a hobby when I should be promoting him as his business. But Adam is an awesome friend of the show. It's good to have you here, Adam. All right. I don't know if you're ready for this last question or not, Emily, because this is such a broad question. And I almost feel like it's a setup.
You think it's a setup?
It's the stuff comes through and I don't know, you don't really know the train of thought, or you don't really understand the full, if this was part of a sales funnel where we aggregate, these questions from folks, but this one is so general. It says, what is LifterLMS and how does LifterLMS work? Can you please tell me about LifterLMS? I'm new here. And then I look at the number, we've got 20 or more people in here live, and we've only got 2 or 3 asking questions. So let's say that silent majority has no idea what they're actually watching, right? Maybe it's a good question. Maybe it's something to address. But what is LifterLMS? So LMS stands for Learning Management System. Now, there's hundreds of learning management systems out there to choose from. Hundreds, literally hundreds. I have experience with non-WordPress and WordPress-based LMSs, learning management systems. I'm going to be real honest with you. I think that calling something a learning management system is a misnomer for a lot of these brands that try to do so. For instance, to me, a learning management system needs to be able to enroll students. You would think that would be an obvious thing, but not all LMSs can do this. So you need to be able to enroll students, track the progress of students, report on the progress and the grades that students earn. So how would they get grades? There would have to be some kind of knowledge check. So some kind of quizzing or testing feature built into the platform. Not all of the LMSs out there have that. And then the other thing, of course, is how to organize learning content, courses and lessons. Lifter LMS comes not only with those 5 features, but also comes with the ability, with our add-ons and whatnot, to integrate with marketing tools, to integrate with sales funnels, to add some automations that might help speed up your business, to put in e-commerce tools and put in payment gateways so that people can swipe a credit card on your website and actually make a purchase. And so when I say that Lifter LMS is an actual learning management system, to me, Lifter LMS actually lives up to the term. I've used Moodle. Moodle is off of WordPress. I've used Bridge, LearnUpon, SumTotal, Blackboard. I'm trying to think of all the system simulations. It's a custom platform that I've used. They make the training for Suzuki and for Nissan. Folks, there's a ton of stuff out there, and I'll tell you, the user experience is completely different from one to the other in a lot of cases. Even a website that's built specifically to run SCORM is going to have different ways to upload those SCORM packages. For instance, I used a platform that you couldn't even upload the SCORM as a zip file directly to the platform. You had to send the zip file to an agent, and the agent had a team basically unstitch the file and load it up individually and then try to make it work inside the LMS. It was a very confusing process. Took weeks to be able to see a course. Took another week or 2 to debug the course and make sure everything worked. And it was a nightmare. With Lifter LMS and Grassblade, you could upload SCORM and you could watch your content in less than a minute. So there's a lot to look at there. There's LMSs inside WordPress that do allow for student management and to have courses, but they might be missing the payment gateway element, or they might be missing a membership management element. And you can do the homework on those. You can look at those. There's Tutor LMS, there's LearnDash, there's a ton. Sensei's one of them. There's a bunch. Course WP, I think, is one. It just goes on and on. So we're here to talk about Lifter. So how does Lifter LMS work? Lifter LMS is something you add to WordPress. This is a question we get sometimes too. They'll say, hey, I bought your plugin, but it doesn't work. Nothing happens. And then you ask a couple of questions and you find out they don't have WordPress installed. This happens. So you need WordPress. Lifter LMS goes on top of WordPress. And what's really cool about a Lifter LMS instance on top of WordPress is now you don't just have an LMS. Now you have a content management system, which is WordPress. WordPress is a CMS. And now you have this LMS. So you actually have like a CLMS. And the advantage to that compared to like a Moodle instance or, Blackboard or one of these other types of learning platforms is now you have the learning management system, managing your students and reporting and quizzing and lessons and courses and all that. You have all that, but you also, surrounding that, have the ability to add any kind of content, pages, or functionality that you want that WordPress supports. And WordPress has like 60,000 plugins in the repository. There's not much you can't do with WordPress.
Totally.
Was that enough? Did I say enough?
I think you did. We did have a question that kind of goes into that. There was a question, can I white label my account with something like WordPress, as everything Kurt described? There's a lot of opportunities to really make it your own. There's not a solution in the market currently, right, for white label Lifter LMS. It was out there where it took the back end of WordPress and white labeled that, like the Lifter LMS logos and the names and everything. You can absolutely use something like Loco Translate to translate the back end names of things like Lifter LMS. You'll still find things like when we visit the dashboard, even if we're using Loco Translate, we'll jump into the settings area and we'll see a logo in the upper left corner here for like Lifter LMS. And these things are definitely possible to change with code snippets, but unfortunately the product that was called white label Lifter LMS is no longer on the market from the WASP Pro team, the people who had the third-party organization that had created that. However, Loco Translate does a lot of that work. And also, if you're trying to white label an LMS for a client, you can do a lot of work to customize the backend of WordPress, customize which panels they have access to. There's like plugins out there that allow you to create kind of custom user access. And so you can be kind of a super admin in WordPress, like a regular WordPress admin, and then give your clients access to the things that they need access to, and then label those things accordingly. That's kind of my approach to that to like the modern 2024 August. Like, how would you do that?
Yeah. I was trying to think. I think the last time I white labeled a LifterLMS instance was like 2015 or 2016. And it had a zero net gain for anything to do with me or the customer or any. It's one of those totally unrequired things. And I say this because I think the marketplace in WordPress has changed so much that whether you're a consumer as an individual or your consumer as a company, they understand that you're using tools to create functionality within their WordPress instance. And they know that those tools come from somewhere. It's your knowledge base that adds value to those tools. And so I have found that very, very rarely do I have even a desire to white label anything anymore, because the truth of the matter is, whether I'm using SureCart or WooCommerce or LifterLMS or any of these other, major tools, it doesn't matter. I've been hired for my expertise to leverage those tools on behalf of the client. And the client, I find, doesn't care what tools, they care about the results. So if I sell the work of my agency based on results and not on which tool I'm using, I don't have to worry about whether they see where the tool's from or not.
Yeah.
Oh, and if it comes down to money, I've had agencies ask me this before, because I do a lot of work with agencies. So I am an agency. There's this practice where, let's say, you can buy LifterLMS for $1,500. So let's say you buy the $1,500, and then you want to mark it up to your customer to $3,000. And you're worried that they're going to find out that LifterLMS only costs $1,500. Here's an idea. Just sell it to your customer for $1,500, right? And then just mark up your labor and your agency services appropriately. So if your agency rate's based on $75 an hour, maybe you need to be at $120 an hour. It's WordPress, and there are 17 different ways to skin this cat. And if at the end of the day, it really drives down to a revenue question, just reallocate that revenue to another column in your spreadsheet, and you'll find a way to make that profit.
Yeah.
Boom, sham, ba-doom.
I think there's a lot of software out there now, like Go High Level, where they're like, hey, let's resell the software and make a bunch of money. They put a lot of ads to it, but it's like, I don't know. That is its own thing, its own industry, its own way of thinking about software.
I personally think, now that you called them out by name, I think they have destroyed their own brand. I have so many, I'm going to call them peers, so many peers in all these Slack channels and stuff. Oh, I'm using Black Water Bottle to run all of my, CRM tools. And I'll be like, what the hell is Black Water Bottle? And then they'll be like, oh, it's just a rebranded Go High Level. I'm like, oh my goodness, how many people are going to do this? And I think they've destroyed their brand. I know that sounds very opinionated, but it's atrocious to me how many people jumped on that bandwagon, and just how, I think, watered down and filtered that experience has become because of that.
Yeah. I think it does create kind of an expectation for software, though, with like what people are expecting to be able to do. And what that looks like. It's kind of like it's not a pyramid scheme, but what is that called, where you buy something and you have to sell it to other people? A multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Yeah. This is okay. It's not a multi-level marketing scheme. It's actually software, and people do make money. And you can do that with WordPress. You can absolutely white label stuff, but with WordPress, it's a little more open source. So LifterLMS not being white labelable out of the box. On the front end, everything's white label. There's nothing but on the front end. But on the back end, if you're trying to sell to clients like that, you're going to need the WASP Pro solution from 2020 that's no longer available. So maybe a couple of custom PHP snippets to swap out some images, and then loco translate, and then hide the fact that you use that loco translate. It's not super hard.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Or you look at it, make some money, deploy a solution like the one WAS Pro had to the market, white label, but there weren't enough people trying to do it, so it wasn't supportable for them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we kind of drove down on what is LifterLMS and how does it work.
Sure.
I mean, was there anything else you think that we should discuss with that question? Because it's such a broad area.
Yeah, I'm happy to do a little bit of a demo. Naturally, this call, a lot of people who are new to the platform come in here. So anyone who's new to LifterLMS joining the call, first, welcome to the community, but also LifterLMS does a lot of cool things that Kurt described, and it's all on top of WordPress, which makes it even cooler because you can do even more things. But there are some increased responsibility, like the ability to manage your database and the automatic updates on or off. Which hosting provider are you using? There's more variables you're going to be working with something like a LifterLMS instead of something like Kajabi. But there's a lot of freedom you get as a product of that, a lot of abilities to customize what you create and how you create it and who creates what. And so there's this weird thing that we were talking about with the design library at the top of my screen going in and out when I hover over blocks. That's a cadence thing. I think, I mean, like if I go to pages, I don't think that's us. Who knows? Let me see. You see design library at the top? No, that's a course thing. Okay, so when you load cadence in the courses, this little guy at the top here jumps in and out on a course. Don't know what that's about, but
my epilepsy's taken over.
It is. That's not a feature of LifterLMS. So that's just something I noticed, and and we've been talking about. But yeah, so LifterLMS provides you the ability to build full courses inside of the backend of WordPress. So you can create like landing pages for your courses, which is exactly what we're looking at here. The LifterLMS editor uses the block editor out of the box. So this is going to be the WordPress editor. If you know how to use the WordPress editor or are willing to learn it, like these blocks here, you can build courses on the internet, and that's pretty cool. But also we have the course builder. This is where you actually structure your course with the lessons and everything. And then you can create access plans where people can pay to get access to these programs. And it doesn't even just have to be a course. LifterLMS has membership features built in out of the box. Courses and membership features, everything we've looked at so far is just in the free core plugin. And we do have some payment gateways on our store. If you wanted to charge with Stripe, if you wanted to charge with PayPal, we have add-ons for that. If you wanted to charge through WooCommerce, if you wanted to integrate with accounting software, have a card, or use like Norwegian payment gateways, you can do that kind of stuff through WooCommerce, and Lifter integrates seamlessly with that. We have tutorials about all of the nitty-gritty and all of the things you can do with the platform. But at a high level, like Kurt said, courses, all the features that come with courses here, memberships, features that come with memberships and courses work together. You can do certificates, you can do automatic emails, you can do like when people complete courses, it's a basic email system, but you can do things like that. There's achievement pop-ups, so you can create a sense of gamification, a light sense of gamification. But if you wanted to go to the next level with gamification, there's GamiPress, which integrates with Lifter. That's another powerful thing about WordPress. No matter what direction you want to take your LMS tool, you can start with LifterLMS, integrate achievements, realize that gamification is important for your platform, and then integrate GamiPress and really go to the next level with it, with leaderboards and points and ranks and stuff like that. So it gives you an opportunity to test and be flexible. And if you're adept with WordPress, I think starting by creating a course in WordPress is perfectly fine. If you're going from 0 to 10 customers, we have a course about how to do that as well. But because that's hard. That's harder than you might think. But we have supporting content as well. So LifterLMS isn't just a company about creating the product, which we focus a lot on that, but we also create content. We show up here and answer your questions. So multifaceted company, multifaceted tool. Whether you want to create your courses in WordPress from the start, or you're migrating from another LMS into WordPress because you want to unlock some of that freedom and control you get from the platform, LifterLMS is worth giving a try, probably. That's like the high level. This is kind of everything Kurt's already covered. Jane in chat, what is the best plugin to add multiple languages to Vimeo or YouTube videos? That's, I would say, multiple YouTube or Vimeo videos that were produced separately. So the best thing would be to produce videos separately. Like I think a lot of WordPress influencers who do multinational do well. I mean, everybody does multinational. They pay people to dub the videos, or they they just have creators kind of record the same content for them, but that's probably not feasible at this point. So you're looking for some kind of automatic solution. I don't know. I would pass this over to Kurt to be like, is there some kind of an AI tool, or is there some kind of something we can implement there?
Yeah, there's a couple of AI tools out there where you can take, pardon me, take the transcript from a video, convert it to another language, and then override the transcript that's in Vimeo or YouTube with the translated transcript. So there are ways to do that. And then there's some that actually automate the actual transcriptions from language to language with closed captioning, right? And so you really need to explore. Those are third party, obviously not part of your website things. Those are like SaaS applications that happen directly for Vimeo and for YouTube. And I do want to put the disclaimer out there. Everything's changing very rapidly in this particular space. You know, it wasn't that long ago that you had to handwrite all of your closed captions for YouTube. And now you look at what's happening automatically. And so language conversion, you got to be careful with, just like you would in your website, Translate Press or DeepL or WPML or any of these other tools that help with translating your website. You kind of want to, QA that and make sure that, the right translations are getting out to your people with the right inflections, the right choices of words for the right phrases and things like that. And so, so you still have to play with it a little bit, but definitely look at some of these AI choices to translate a transcription. I'll throw it out there as a plug. I've been using, it's a combination of AI tools that they put together on a tool called writeblogger.com. And I've been really impressed with writeblogger.com and the amount of options that I have to play with things. And so you might want to check them out, because a lot of AI tools require you to be almost like a prompt expert, right? Like when you use ChatGPT, I could use ChatGPT to find something out. Emily could use ChatGPT to find something out. Jane could use something for ChatGPT to find something out. And all three of us will get a different result because our prompts will be written differently, right? Whoever writes the best prompt gets the best output. And so becoming a really good AI prompter is a skill set that it's a whole unique thing unto its own. But when you use a tool like WriteBlogger or some of these other ones that are out there, that where the prompts are kind of pre-built, it helps streamline the process for you a little bit, or at least educate you a little better on how to use the bare tools when you jump into those.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've been playing a lot with AI, and there's some things I find that are really useful, and there's other things I'm just going to come out and say it. The idea that every single tool on the internet needs to have some kind of AI icon to click on to do something is absolute overkill, and a lot of it is just plain junk. Especially the ones that are like, help me write an article, right? And it'll say, oh, well, what do you want to use as what keywords do you want to use? Well, that would be brilliant, right? Like, I don't even know what keywords I want to use. Like, where's the actual keyword research come from? And that's something that Will dove deep on with SEMrush and stuff like that. What, a year ago?
Oh, the SEO stuff?
Yeah.
That's deep, where you actually figure out, that all the work we did at LifterLMS with SEO stuff was all manual, it's not all manual, but most of it was manual, where we actually, like, me and Chris and Kurt were going through the web, looking at items we wanted to rank for, and like search terms. We had a whole spreadsheet with all the search terms we want to rank for. And then we figured out what articles are ranking, what's the length of the competitor articles, what's the average reading level of those competitor articles. We're figuring out all the details about the average qualities of these articles, and then we're creating articles similarly. And that's a great strategy for SEO, but that involves so much manual work.
Yeah, and that's what you just said is driving to the point I was just trying to make. A lot of people think that AI is this magic wand where you're like, write me an SEO optimized article on buffalo's reproductive practices, right? And then everyone's like, oh, I love buffalo, right? And then blah, blah, blah. You don't get any quality out of that. There's no quality that comes from that, because what are the keywords that you were trying to get? Were you trying to get into like animal husbandry? Were you trying to get into fluffy animals for, what do they call that? Build-A-Bear workshop. I mean, the internet could take that topic and go in 100 different directions. And so in order for AI to actually work efficiently for you, you have to do the hard work in the background. So what direction do I want the keywords to go in? What target audience am I trying to reach? Does this need to be a funny article, an influential article, an educational article? So you have to have all of that stacked up before you can leverage those AI tools efficiently. And so I find that a lot of folks that think AI is this, plug and play magic beast, I think that a lot of them are just creating garbage. And there's a lot of junk on the internet right now that probably should have never been published in the first place. But if you do the hard work and you leverage all those foundational tools appropriately at the beginning, you'll get much better content. And I don't know how I got focused on that at the end of this conversation, but that's where I went. I went from, you could use AI to rewrite your transcript in another language, to, oh my God, don't use AI too much. You'll kill your brand.
Sure. Yeah. I've seen some really cool like implementations of AI, but it's a very powerful tool. So you don't want to you probably don't want to go all in with it. But there is one cool instance that I was working on last week that allows you to have like an AI chatbot inside of WordPress. And this is still like kind of cutting edge and in development. It's nice to have a developer supporting you with implementing these kind of tools. And so the tool we were using allows people to like prompt AI. It's probably like talking to ChatGPT or something, but it has data in WordPress that you can have about your own company and your own brand, and it uses that data to help inform what it tells the customer or what it doesn't tell the customer. And that one was kind of cool, and it can actually like refer people certain resources and stuff. It's cool. It's AI can be cool, but it can also turn into a mess. This is true.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that whole statement. So I've used a chat bot before as well, but I used kind of the old school chat bot where you had to program all of it, So it would be like, you have to imagine, what are 4 questions that people might ask me, right? So then, what are the 4 questions? And then each of those 4 questions creates a branch and goes off into another thing. And then you either end the chat or you recycle the chat. And so you have to think about this whole thing through a customer's journey, the vision of a customer's journey. And so that was a task. And I did that for the Power Sport Academy. I did it for Manana no Mas. I did it for a couple of other projects, and I did it for a few clients too. But the thing that's hard about having a chat that works like that is we didn't want to use AI because we didn't want to bring in third-party information into the website. We wanted to focus on what was on the site and direct people the way that we wanted to direct people. But then the side effect of that is, when you try to direct people the way that you want to direct people, you might not be hitting their sweet spot and missing that opportunity to sell. So there's always a plus or a minus to any of these things.
Yeah. It's all something you're adding to your business. I like to think about it as like introducing, it's a piece of software, but it's like introducing an employee or a contractor to help you with your business. You want to make sure that you have a good relationship with that partner in your business, and also that you maintain that relationship, even though it is a piece of software, it's a robot, but I treat them as team members, in how you evaluate their performance and how you maintain the relationship with updates and everything.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Like, I think that's really cool part of the WordPress ecosystem, where you plug in like all this stuff. It's like you as an end user have the ability to plug in the work that the people at LifterLMS are doing. Like you're like working with us by using the product, and the fact that it's open source and it's community and everyone's, you're like choosing to kind of enlist us in your team by utilizing the software, coming to the calls, and implementing this as a solution for your business, even if it's in a partial way. I think that's really cool. This is a good question. How can I prevent courses from being stolen? And also, can I export courses created on LifterLMS? With the API, can I gather user data on the front end so I can use AI for course recommendation? That's exactly what the AI tool that we were doing was like. I forgot the name of it. I could probably find the name of the AI tool. It's like something about a cat, and it's probably why I like it. But you can you can have like a document on the back end of WordPress that says, hey, these are my courses. This is what each of the courses are about. The AI tool will know that information, and it will tell the user that, and it will make recommendations based on that. So you can say, I want to recommend these programs. If somebody is talking about these topics, don't recommend more than 2 programs, because the AI might just recommend them all the programs. Like, oh, it sounds like you should take everything on the website. We don't want to do that. But you can kind of correct its behavior by telling it what to do in terms of like on the back end in this document. That's kind of how the WordPress AI tools usually work. And so exporting courses with Lifter, you can export from one LifterLMS site into another LifterLMS site very easily. There's an import-export feature. If we go to courses, on the back end of our website, each of our courses has a little export button on it. When we hover over it, that's going to download a JSON file to your computer. That little JSON file can be LifterLMS import, is where you would go on your other website. You can click upload that JSON file, and it will upload the course. It will upload the attachments and everything associated with that post, and all the lessons and quizzes and everything. So it's easy to go from Lifter to Lifter. And if you mentioned the API, if you're a developer and you're working with the APIs, this is something. LifterLMS is a very robust REST API. So you can do, if you know about APIs, you can do a lot more than what I described with this general user interface way to export and import. You can use the API to request data on courses and pull it into other course tools in different formats. But you would have to take the information the API returns to you about the title of the course, the information about lessons and descriptions and all the stuff that has associated with it, and then reformat it with your program to fit another one. I know that's what Honors WP did with LearnDash and Lifter, where they used the API to pull the LifterLMS content, reformat it for LearnDash so you can import it there, take the LearnDash content, reformat it so you can put it into Lifter. They've actually done that with the API. So if you're a developer level individual, you can absolutely, or you have a team, you can absolutely use the API to do really fun stuff, or fun meaning like complicated. I don't know. That is a little long description, but yeah, API, you can do anything you want. Export, import is a thing. Preventing courses from being stolen. There's an interesting one. What do you think? What do you think about that, Kurt? We talked about a video cipher and stuff like that, but there's some thoughts about, should we even worry about that? If we do worry about it, how will we do it?
I always go back to, what have you sold? And people hate this answer. So, Rucky, be prepared to be upset. Did you reinvent the wheel? Did you come up with something that's patentable? Did you, are you standing to lose billions of dollars because someone, scarfed an idea off the side of your website? That answer generally is a big fat no. People come to you for the relationship. If you're in an online learning environment, it's because you're building a relationship, or you're offering connection and relationship to people to access an idea or a concept. That idea or concept probably existed long before you put it on the page. For instance, I have a fixed operations training course in the power sports industry. People will tell you, Kurt's the only dude that teaches like this. And I am the only dude that teaches like this. But if you look at what I'm actually teaching, these are concepts. These are true financial concepts, spreadsheet concepts, efficiency concepts, productivity concepts that have been around for decades. So I'm not the creator of a new concept. I'm just the owner of the way in which it is presented. And people can't really take that away from you by stealing your content, because they're unable to produce or unable to present in a way that matches your high level of presentation. To me, it is your level of presentation that earns you the privilege to charge people for access. Because if we're honest with each other, you could do a search on YouTube and find your subject matter on YouTube for free. So why are people coming to you in the first place? They're coming to you because you've curated the content and you've funneled the information in a way that creates relationship and connection and access with them. And that's where the value is. So I don't worry too much about people stealing my content, because if people steal my content, it's pretty obvious it's not them when they share it with somebody else. And they come back to me because I'm the origin of the style.
Yeah.
I know people hate that. I mean, you could there's Video Cipher for locking down your videos. There's, security options on Vimeo for locking down stuff. You can disable the right click to keep honest people more honest. But if I have any kind of screen share capability on my computer, I can scrape and steal whatever content I want anyway. So it honestly, I would put more into the content and the delivery of that content and making sure it's yours and it's authentic and you love it than I would be worried about trying to secure the site.
Yeah, but LifterLMS does have a simple feature that you can enable to help with this. Like Kurt said, security comes in levels. So if we go to courses, or is it general? Probably general. There's this content protection option. So it prevents users from copying content and downloading images. So that makes it a little bit easier for people who are, I don't call it a petty theft, right? Where it's like, I'm going to right click and download your image. This is going to prevent that from happening. I'm going to like drag and drop and copy and paste your content. This is going to prevent that from happening. This setting here prevents the petty content theft from happening. But there are advanced users on the web who know how to view page sources and use APIs, and you can't really stop them because it was published on the internet and they can take what they want. That's kind of like there's always a way, but there are some security measures you can put in place to help.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to talk about, man. We are coming up. We only got 2 minutes left. Is there anything you can think of to kind of close out the last couple of minutes that we've got today?
Yeah, I guess. Well, thanks everyone for joining the call. We had a lot of great questions today. And if you are interested in checking out LifterLMS, lifterlms.com/try is going to be the best place for you to go to get your hands on a demo site with all of the LifterLMS tools on it that you can try out, get a feel for the platform, get a feel for the software, and see if it would work for you. That's my recommendation on where to go next. And then Kurt has a special discount, or we have a special discount here in chat that is available to you for 55% off. That's the best discount you'll find around. So make sure to copy that coupon down in case you do like LifterLMS and in case you do want to move forward. That'll be the best discount you can find until Black Friday.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to point out a friend of LifterLMS, Katie Keith from Barn 2 Plugins. Ding, 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 ding.
Barn 2, Document Library Pro, billion other add-ons, good stuff, well-coded stuff. It works well with Lifter.
Oh, my friend, I've had a good time with you today. I think today was a really good, really good example of what happens when quality people come and ask good questions. I'll see you again next week.